Hello and welcome. I am Gimba Umar. Tonight, security operatives of the Operation Safe Haven burst baby factory in Jos, the Plateau State capital. 2 children confirmed dead as fire engulfs internally displaced persons camp in Borno State. And River State Governor Nyesom Wike emerges Sun Newspaper Governor of the Year. And US pledges unwavering support for NATO and says that NATO allies must pay more for their defense.
On Business News tonight, Nigeria's capital market operators to discuss structured financial products at a summit in Lagos next week.
And on Sports News tonight, the stage is set for an epic battle for the CAF presidency as South African President Jacob Zuma backs incumbent Hayatou in spite of Kosafa's stance.
We'll begin tonight with efforts by security forces in the country's north-central region to rid the zone of criminals. This follows the bursting of a syndicate that specialized in the business of baby-making factory by the Special Task Force, codenamed Operation Safe Haven. The commander of the task force, charged with maintaining peace and security in Jos, the Plateau State capital, and parts of Bauchi State, Major General Rogers Nicholas, says that the trend of baby factory in the states has largely been degraded.
These are men and women believed to be the culprits of a baby factory syndicate operating in Jos. Their cup appears to have become full and are now apprehended by troops of Operation Safe Haven after a series of intelligence gathering and monitoring of members of the group by the security outfit. The group, with network spread across the country, usually entice unsuspecting young ladies with mouth-watering offers, and in other cases, drug their victims with substances. They ended in forced labor, as narrated by a victim who refused to trade her children, and another pregnant suspect who agreed to the terms of the gang.
Actually, I've never sold the child, but I agreed with one of my friends that we were going to go and sell this one. So her name is Patience by name. She stays at around that Plateau Central. So we agreed with her, we talked to one man. The man told us that he knows plenty places where they go and sell children. So he said that if we're about to give birth, then when we're near to give birth, he will carry us inside his car and take us there. Then he will show us the place. Then any amount that they give us, then we can give him whatever we want to give him.
The sector commander, where the operation was carried out by the task force, explains how the syndicate was smashed by the security operatives.
We got information there are some ladies who are into the practice of bringing up babies and selling them out to 5 places like Lagos, Lokoja, Aba, with their connections here and there. So we're able to trace some of these ladies and we made some arrests. So we want you to see these ladies, and then and some of the boys too that were supposedly hired to be impregnating them for such a purpose.
While investigations continue into the activities of the syndicate, Operation Safe Haven forces seem determined to crush the network of baby factories across the states within its jurisdiction, especially places where the babies are being sold.
2 children have been confirmed dead following the inferno at the internally displaced people's camp in Kruso Bashir in Jere local government area of Borno State, northeast of Nigeria. It is one of the unofficial settlements of the displaced persons in the host community. The fire, which reportedly spread very fast, was fueled by the dried stalks used in erecting the tents. At least 400 families are believed to have lost their shelter to the fire before the men of the State Fire Service arrived at the scene to prevent further spread. The Boko Haram insurgency may have subsided, but the damage inflicted on communities may take years to heal. A part of the healing process has been undertaken by the Fadama 3 Operation Office in Yobe State, where 40 households with horrific tales from the Boko Haram attacks have been narrating the experience.
One after the other, These victims of Boko Haram onslaught converged on Malamatari community, a suburb of Damaturu, the state capital. They are here to receive relief items brought by the Fadama 3 Operation Office in Yobe State, courtesy of the World Bank, the federal government of Nigeria, as well as the Yobe State government. The coordinator of Fadama 3 in Yobe State, Musa Garba, says the victims need urgent assistance, having been incapacitated owing to Boko Haram assaults.
The World Bank, together with the federal government, deemed it necessary to assist the northeastern states of Nigeria for the communities to come out of the devastation and the destruction that they suffered as a result of the insurgency.
The relief materials, including foodstuff, livestock, animal feeds and medications, are handed out to the beneficiaries. One of the beneficiaries, Fatima, narrates her encounter with the terrorists when they forced their way into her room in a house in the outskirts of Damaturu. I was shot 3 times during the attack on Damaturu on the 1st of December 2014, 2 on my legs and 1 on my right hand. My husband was shot 5 times and he died on the spot. I was rushed to the hospital in Damaturu. I can now trek with or without crutches, depending on the distance. I didn't spend a dime, and I am most grateful for all that saved my life. Her father is no less grateful for the life of his daughter, but regrets the untimely death of his son-in-law.
I did not commit any of my money into the treatment of my daughter. Government did everything, and I was assured that even abroad, they will shoulder all the expenses. I really thank Gaidam's administration. I will ensure I take good care of these livestock, as they are my only means of livelihood.
For another victim, Modu, it is a surprise that he survived despite much loss of blood after he was shot by the terrorists.
We were attacked in Gurboa and we had to trek for a far distance before we could get a vehicle to bring us to Damaturu for treatment. The bullet entered my jaw and passed through my nose, which remains a miracle how I survived it.
The representative of the Yobe State governor commends the efforts of Fadama 3 and gives the assurance that government will continue to help in uplifting the living conditions of the displaced persons.
It is worthy of note that the present administration, under the able leadership of His Excellency Alhaji Dr. Ibrahim Gaidam, FNCA has shown commitment towards improving the well-being of the victims of insurgency in this state.
The National Fadama Office has given approval for 274 million naira for a similar exercise in 20 other communities across the state.
The Assistant Inspector General of Police in charge of operations, Alkali Usman, has given the assurance of a 24-hour surveillance at the Kaduna airport. Mr. Usman, who heads the Presidential Committee of the Airport Diversion Project, said aside securing the airport premises, security will also be beefed up in the state capital and along the Abuja-Kaduna highway. He adds that the facility is almost ready to receive local and international flights.
The initial anxiety over the use of the Kaduna airport as an alternative for flights taking off and landing in Abuja is slowly fizzling away as work is almost done on the infrastructure. Security is getting tighter around the Kaduna airport and other parts of the state capital as the March 8th deadline for the transfer of operations gets closer. A 24-hour security surveillance will be mounted around the airport for the protection of lives and property of passengers. This assurance is coming from the AIG in charge of operations, Alkali Usman.
Our mandate is not only in the airport. Our mandate is to ensure that There is security on the road, there is security in the airport, there is security in the terminals, and passengers in and coming out are also protected, escorted to Abuja or brought from Abuja to Kaduna.
AIG Usman also heads a presidential committee in charge of the airport diversion project, which includes security on the Kaduna-Abuja highway.
So far so good from what we have seen, right from the beginning in Abuja down to Kaduna here. All aspects of preparation in terms of security, we are 90% okay. That is to say, our level of deployment on the road has been assessed. We have earmarked where we are going to put in static points. We have earmarked where we will cover as patrol. In terms of patrol, both in and out, that is coming and going to Abuja. We have inspected the perimeter fencing in the airport. We have made arrangement to protect the entire equipment, the building, and everywhere.
Volume of passengers at the Kaduna airport is expected to increase in the next 3 weeks as the place hosts local and international flights following the planned temporary closure of the Abuja International Airport for repairs.
As part of his tour of the South-South region, the Minister of Works, Power and Housing, Mr. Babatunde Fashola, has visited Bayelsa and Akwa Ibom State to inspect the state of federal highways in the area. The minister expressed delight over the readiness of the two state governors to work with his ministry to improve infrastructure in the state.
On arrival in Yenagoa, the Bayelsa state capital, the Minister of Works and Housing proceeds to a road project site which was awarded since 2009. Here, the contractor complains of funds and the minister assures of the preparedness of the federal government to pay for all completed projects.
I understand the challenges of building in the creeks and the swamps. That's how my own state is like. So it's a very, very difficult terrain to operate in, and we must get our hands to the pump here. I see that the presence of the federal government here has not been as impactful in terms of the infrastructure as it could have been over the years, but we intend to change that. But we can only change it by partnership, by peace, by collaboration.
Another port of call is the State Governor's Office, where the State Chief Executive expresses displeasure at the absence of federal presence in the state and also for more collaboration between the two levels of government.
This state is gas. This state has more gas than any other state. And we want to work and collaborate with you and the federal government and our development partners to see how we can convert this abundant gas resources so that Bayelsa will be a power hub. Already, the policy is out there. We have developed the policy.
Away from Yenagoa, Akwa Ibom State is the next port of call, and the request is almost the same: improve federal presence.
Government had announced as part of its budgetary and developmental program, when the president presented the budget, that there was a plan to raise debts by way of bonds.
The state government will never be a cloud in the wind. It will support whatever will bring enlightenment to our people, whatever will bring support to our people, and work with the officials to send here to collaborate with us.
The Akwa Ibom State government also used the occasion to remind the Minister of Works that the preliminary procedures for the refund of over 140 billion naira spent by the state on the construction of federal roads in its domain have not been concluded.
In part two, after the break, National Chairman of the PDP, Ali Modi Sharif, pledges readiness to sacrifice his ambition for the unity of the main opposition party. Stay with us.